ambitions. When are we going to get the factory for Lucid here in Riyadh?
That's pretty quick. So obviously we're working very closely with the Ministry of Investment. They've obviously got a real program around automotive, and the Ministry of Industry, in cooperation with the Ministry of Investment, has been negotiating with us. We've announced our intent. We are working very hard on, what percentage will be owned directly by us versus partners. But look, 2025, 2026, so that type of time frame.
Would you say that it's getting a bit more momentum? Is that part of the reason that you're here?
It's part of the reason I'm here. I'm here for lots of reasons. I'm always, my PIF role, my Aramco role. But Lucid, and it's our ambitions here, we're 3 years in the making. And now that we are successfully producing and selling cars in the US, our attention's turning to this factory here.
Lucid has also ambitious goals for deliveries. What are you seeing in terms of supply chain constraints that might hold back some of those goals?
Yeah, as I mentioned in the interview, I'm in a quiet period, so I can't talk about numbers at all. But I will say to you that, if you think about when we first said we'd be producing to this very moment, we have had a start of production successfully in October, and we've got our prototypes, and now our cars are being delivered. I'm the recipient of one, and I want to tell you, I bought it at market price.
Okay.
It's in Florida. It's a phenomenal car, and I'm not saying that because I'm chairman. It is a phenomenal car, and I would tell you that we'll have a lot more to say to the market about the sorts of things we're seeing on the supply chain. But yes, we're experiencing supply chain issues.
Where does the European market sort of fit into the global pie? Because just early on in the month, there was an announcement around that.
Yeah, retail in Europe, for sure, right-hand drive, and how we eventually get to UK. But certainly continental Europe is one of our key markets. Remember, our first car is a luxury car. It's at the high end, and it's a beautiful car, but it's up against Mercedes and Audi and BMW and Porsche. And what we have going for us is our range, 525 miles EPA certified, and that frankly beats everyone. And our ambitions in Europe are very strong as well in terms of retail. We've said nothing about factories yet in Europe.
Okay. The SEC is investigating Lucid and its tie-up with Churchill Capital. What's your understanding of where the investigation is centering on, and should investors be concerned?
I really have zero comment on that. It would be wrong of a board member, and let alone the chairman, to make any comments about a formal inquiry. So I'll leave that as a no comment.
Okay. Quick question on Saudi broadly, and I kind of want to end with where we started. When you look at the diversification push, when you look at the reforms that are happening, you mentioned some of the other roles on the other boards. Are we going to see more privatization of some of the Aramco assets? Is that going to be an ongoing theme? What do you expect?
So the conference and the Vision 2030 realization plan is very much to get the private sector involved in a multiplicity of sectors. So this will not be a state-owned, state-run economy. And one may argue it's really not been that. Aramco is the exception that doesn't prove the rule. Listing part of Aramco is a very visible sign. Future listings are probably in the offing, nothing officially announced, but His Excellency the Governor of PIF has talked openly about that, as is Ahmed Nasser, the CEO of Aramco. But the rest of the PIF-owned assets, the view is PIF is an enabler to get the sectors up and running and to scale. So take real estate and hospitality, the number of resorts and number of room keys that are being opened up around the kingdom, from the Red Sea to Riyadh, you name it, to Al Ula. I mean, these are all PIF enabled, but the view is to bring private sector in. Yeah. So this will be a more traditional private sector market economy, and we want small and mediums in all these sectors. Top-down architecture, but very much private sector collaboration.
And the Aramco assets, would that be part of a push downstream?
So Aramco definitely, with SABIC 70%, petrochemicals and chemicals now is a very big part of Aramco. The energy minister and the industry minister and others have a crude to chemical strategy. SABIC has technology in that area, so does Aramco. You can expect to see more of that, to take more of the crude barrel and put it into chemicals and petrochemicals.